Good day, everyone. Welcome to the presentation for our new normals for the period 1991 through 2020. This will we be replacing our normals for the period 1981 to 2010. 30-year normals defined are just basically that's the 30-year average of a particular variable, for example, temperatures. What goes into the normals is a little bit more. They do put some procedures into place to deal with missing data or suspect data, and also climate normals include such averages such as degree days, probabilities, and standard deviations. Lots of statistics that go into producing these normals. They came up with these about a century ago when the World Meteorological Organization instructed nations to begin normals periods 1901 to 1930. Basically, they said statistically you need 30 numbers to get a reliable estimate of the average, so hence they defined the 30-year normal. This year they're also going to be producing 15-year normals at the National Center for Environmental Information, formerly known as National Climatic Data Center. So what's going to be available for us here in western Montana from the National Weather Service in Missoula? We have 3 official stations, Missoula, Kalispell, and Butte. And we're going to have available temperature data, precipitation data, annual, seasonal, monthly, and daily, as well as snowfall and snow depth. Certain variables such as frequencies like number of days or over a certain degree, for example, number of days over 90 in July. And there will be maps that are going to be available here pretty soon to correspond with these normals on the national and local scale. So let's talk about our area, western Montana, and for those 3 stations. I'm going to focus here on Missoula. Some notable changes for 1991 to 2020 normals. First of all, colder annual average temperatures were recorded this go around. And this is actually the first time in about 5 cycles since we've been starting to keep normals that the average temperature has trended downward. Most notably in the spring, in the March through May period. We're experiencing drier summers now over the new 30-year normals by about 20%, or in the July and August months, down a half an inch. And snowier winters by 5.1 inches. And this is also the first time since in the last 5 cycles, since we've been keeping normals, that the snowfall amount has trended up in Missoula. Let's take a look at some charts here for Missoula. These are our new normals. Normal average temperature is 45.2 degrees and max temperature is 56.8. And there's our normal minimum temperature, 33.6. And precipitation, our normal, has not changed much by about 200. Normal precipitation is 14.11 inches, and our snowfall is up to 43 inches per year. Trends are what kind of tell a story when we're talking about normals. So this is a comparison between our previous normal period of 1981 to 2010 to our new ones that are coming out this week. Our average temperature, as noted, has gone down by 0.7 degrees, with our max temperature being the driver of that. It's gone down 1.3 degrees. There's been no change in minimum temperature, and precipitation, very little change by about 200 lower. And as noted, snowfall is 5.1 inches higher than the previous normals. So we're going to continue talking about trends. This is the trends for our average temperatures. You see here from 1951 to 80, our first 30-year normals. Temperatures have gone up each period, and then for the first time, as mentioned, it's gone down. That trend has gone down by 0.7 degrees. And this is just a graph to show that trend of 30 normals for snowfall. again, snowfall came down quite a bit between the 51 and 1980 normals to 81 2010, down about 14 inches. But this go around, especially during the last decade, that average has gone up to 43 inches. And here I showed how the driver for these lower than normal temperatures were in the spring months, especially March and April, where we're 1.5 degrees cooler than the last go around of normals. And those were maximum temperatures. So here's a graph showing our precipitation by season. And we defined a season for July and August for our summer months. Note it was down a half an inch, which is 20%. We only average about a couple inches during those 2 months. However, during the winter months, precip has gone up a half an inch, and just during that November through February time frame, we've gone up 4.6 inches. And February actually was one of the months that had a stronger increase in snowfall than the previous normals. So let's look at Missoula, Kalispell, and Butte for all of western Montana, our official stations. Missoula still averages warmer than Kalispell and Butte. Obviously, Butte is a much higher elevation, so they will be colder. And the trends, Missoula's down by 0.7 degrees, as mentioned. Not much of a change in Kalispell, and actually a slight warming in Butte. Here's Missoula, Kalispell, and Butte for their precipitation amounts. And as mentioned, there's very little change in any of these. Here's the snowfall for Missoula and Kalispell. Note snowfall in Kalispell has actually gone down by 1.3 inches, and as mentioned earlier, up by 5.1 inches in Missoula. Butte does not record snowfall. Now this is a graph. I thought I'd show a graph of the actual annual trend for all these rolling 30-year normals from dates ending in 1971. This is in red, the trend line, and in the background is the actual data. But on this trend line, you can see, you note that temperatures at Missoula have trended upward all the way through 2010 or so. But just in the last 5-10 years, the average temperatures kind of flattened out. But it's done that before. This is a pretty telling graph showing the annual snowfall, rolling 30-year averages. Starting in 1971, you can see this graph in red. Things have trended down for snowfall. We had a little blip here thanks to our 1996 and 1997 winter, record snowy winter. But after that, snowfall trends have gone down, and then this is about the last 10 years, those trends have gone upward. So that's it for our update on our 1991 to 2020 new normals that are coming out. And here's a couple references for you. You can go to for further information. You can also look for us in our Twitter and Facebook account. And for further and more in-depth contact myself, Bob Nestor, National Weather Service Missoula, and I'll be glad to give you more information that you may request. I hope everyone has a great day.